Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. It's Fred and Sheila with Hatfield, McCoy, Museum Adventures, and Fred and Sheila Investigates.
Hey guys, this video is going to start off a little bit slow probably, but believe me, it'll liven up here in a little bit when we start showing some of these videos. Guy said the other day on the first 6 or 7 videos that we did when we first started Buford Pusser, it shows that people don't watch the whole video, I guess, because he said, looks like y'all change shirts every now and then. But we say in the video that we done 3 hour-long videos other than getting up and stretching and moving around a little bit for our back and our knee in a row on the same day. So when you see us in the same clothes and there's 2 different videos, that just means we cut one off at an hour and started another one out.
Exactly.
They know people are expecting it. They know people not expecting it.
Okay.
Attorneys and real police alike agree. Hogwash. Circumstantial at best. There's not even circumstantial here, guys. I think they getting confused. I think they thought because they was going to get up there with police badges and suits on, prosecutor and TBI, people was going to buy what they were selling just by talking it into history. Somewhat like Mike Elam has done and Oakley Baldwin.
Okay.
They have talked it into history. Guys, there's a big difference in a YouTube channel, a book, a bus tour, and being a credible law enforcement agency, being a credible prosecutor. There's a big difference. They thought they'd come out with their badges and their suits and ties, and everyone would say, oh, it must be the truth. And some people have. Some people says, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the report. I can't wait to see the all them pages. Well, I'll tell you what you're going to see. You're going to see a bunch of hogwash. Because if they had anything to show you or tell you, they would have told you that day on that stage. Guys, you got the best they had right there. When they were talking about Pauline or whatever the word is that he kept using, their opinion, opine. They've got opinions, just like we've got opinions. You've got opinions. Everybody's got opinions.
That's right.
In America, isn't it great that we don't correct people or convict people on our opinions? Isn't that great? Because if we did, we'd everyone be like Buford Pusser right now. All somebody's got to do is make the accusation. Hey, she's got to be guilty. People don't trust and they don't respect the police and prosecutors like they once did. And this is why. This is why, guys. We hear from people. We hear from text. We hear from emails, messaging. We know. We've talked to lawyers. We've talked to other police officers. We've talked to retired police officers galore. And they agree. Some of them even said, hey, if you need something, if you talk to these lawyers and anybody wants to do it, we'll take up money. I'll make a donation and all this and that. And one of them's substantial. Problem is, guys, we have put too much stock in what people say. There is such thing as lying. People do tell lies. Bad as some people want to believe it. This is not the old days when a man or a woman's word was their bond, where you could shake hands and it was as good as signing a contract. Them days are long gone. Stop believing everything you're told without confirming it. Stop believing it. Trust, but verify.
There you go.
Proof. Trust through proof. Trust through proof. Believe what you can see. Believe what you see with your own eyes. And truth by proof. Guys, I'm telling you, I hate to just sit here and like I'm picking. I'm not. I'm not picking. I'm not picking at nobody no more than they have picked at a dead man. They're picking at a dead man. A man that can't take up for himself. A man that can't refute what they're saying. People can say they're picking on a dead man. We're going to go over the autopsy here in a minute with some pictures, x-rays of the skull. Did Buford? We'll get to his statement.
Yeah.
We'll get to his statement.
Okay.
All of your hard work has truly paid off, Mike. Somebody told Mike this. Great job at helping get some justice for Pauline and her family. Well done. Sheila, where's that? Let's see about justice for Pauline. Let's see how. I've got. I'm probably going to put this up here a couple of places, but here's justice for Pauline. This is Buford Pusser, the other story. This is Mike Elam's page. This is Mike Elam's Facebook page, one of his pages that he's got on Facebook. February 22nd, 2016. This is since 2016 he's been after this family.
Wow.
Not just Buford. Let's see. Pauline Pusser was said to be an exotic dancer when Buford met her in Chicago. I did a video on it. It's on Fred McCoy 40. Justice for Pauline. Is this how we give Pauline justice? We accuse her of being a stripper? Because it's been said. See, I don't believe nobody said it. I believe the only person, in my opinion, that said it would be the man that wrote it here on his page.
Wow.
Because it'd be good for hits. Yes, it's sad, babe.
Wow.
But why would you put it at all? She's dead. She can't defend herself. These people love picking on people that can't defend themselves. What wimps. What wimps. Who else could you pick on within any more helpless than a dead person? As to Buford's statement, when he says he was looking directly at Pauline when she was shot in the forehead, I can see how that could be misinterpreted. I can. Somebody else said that also. Sheila can. How long? What's here, guys? How long did it take me to do that? I glance over. I hear a bang. I glance over, and I see Sheila's brains coming out the side of her head towards the front. Do I think in that instant I'm trying to get down in the floorboard? I'd be trying to get in the glove compartment or the floorboard. Somebody comes by me shooting. And I glance over and I see brain matter coming out.
Yeah, that's traumatizing that there.
Can I tell if it's an exit or an entrance? Is that really on my mind right now?
Right.
What somebody's going to write in a report for me? Because you're going to find out later on, Buford Pusser didn't give no statement. If you want to say that, there's a statement out there that somebody wrote and said that's what Buford said. How do we know that? We know that Buford didn't get along with the TBI. We know he didn't get along with a lot of the other agencies because Buford Pusser was a one-man show, him and his department. Moffett.
Plunk.
Thank you, babe. They were a one-man show. They took their county back. They took it back. They regained control of their county. Some of the other officers didn't like it. Some of them was on the take. Some of them was too wimpy to do it. They didn't want to do it, but they didn't want nobody else doing it because that made them look bad. You're going to see here in a minute where Buford didn't write that statement. Somebody else wrote that statement. Did they write it verbatim? Did they write what Buford said? Is Buford not telling the truth there or something? Or did somebody write what they wanted to put down?
Good point.
He was probably in shock. Chances are that she was shot in front of the car, somebody said. This come from Mike Elam. Shot outside the car and put in the car. Guys, if that's true, why did Dennis Hathcock say he was riding his motorcycle the next day? See, to me, Dennis Hathcock would be TBI. TBI's got steered away. They have been
redirected.
They have been redirected toward everybody except probably who I would probably be looking at. But Dennis Hathcock, the nephew of Louise, of W.O., of the very people that was supposedly could have been in a blue Cadillac that night shooting and that had shot at Buford in the past and Buford had killed. Wouldn't be no animosity there. Wouldn't be no anger or revenge feelings, I'm sure. But Dennis says that he found a piece of, bring up, what is it, C? He says he found a piece of, bring up this one right here, F.
Yeah.
Dennis Hathcock says that he found a piece of Pauline's skull with the hair still hanging to it in the ditch line. Now, to the left here, where the F is, that's the left. We're looking straight ahead. The head is.
Yeah, it's facing.
So that would be the piece of the scalp, more than likely, if he's telling the truth. I have no reason to doubt that because there's a piece of her scalp missing.
Right.
And I have seen things like this in my life in different cases where scalp comes off and hair hanging to it. So that's more than likely the piece that he says he found in the ditch line.
Wow.
So they say she was shot outside the car and put back in the car. While he's driving down the road, he didn't even pull off the road. He just shot her in the road. No, guys, that shot came from when they shot her through the head and it went out the window on the other side. Look at the window glass on the other side broke. And that's when the skull went through the window. Guys, he got at a distance. You know, domestics and things, they take place from me to Sheila. They're up here arguing face to face. And got the gun on your side, pull it out and shoot her. Or she shoots her.
Yeah.
Go to the first video, babe.
Okay. Let me find it here. Just a second. I believe this one's it right here. See if
and that leads us up to the next event, the August 12th, 1967 murder of Pauline, for which he has now been named as the person likely to have murdered Pauline.
Forevermore. Forevermore, just what he plugged right there.
Yep.
But she's now been named, or he's been named, the person that killed Pauline. You know, he used likely there. Mark Davis, when he said it, he says on stage there that first he says he could get an indictment if he was alive today, but 2 or 3 times he mentions there and says Buford murdered his wife. It's never been proven, guys. Never been proven. Just because this man's dead doesn't make him wide open for other people to just come after. I don't know. I guess because they've only got the one granddaughter left and she doesn't seem to be want to fool with the headache of doing anything. But I have a feeling that if she knew what a couple of good lawyers could do for her, she may take more of an interest in her grandpappy's reputation because he's been slandered. He's been libeled and he's been misdone. Go ahead, babe.
Okay.
Then we move on to the ambush itself. And in this one, it's odd that you would have an ambush party trying to take headshots rather than disable somebody and shoot them in the torso, which is much easier to hit. When you go through law enforcement training, one of the things they teach you is you shoot at center mass, not at the head.
I doubt this fella's I could be wrong, but I doubt he's been through any type of law enforcement training that's credible. In law enforcement training, you're shoot 2 to the chest and 1 to the head. You're going to hear him say in a minute, shouldn't shoot to the head. Now, Sheila and I has covered this in another video.
Yeah.
Guys, if a police officer, if anybody is justified in firing 1 shot, you're justified in firing 10.
To stop the assailant. As long as, however many shots it takes to stop whatever this person's doing, the threat. Yeah.
The threat. Sorry, guys, I got my coffee on. Forgot that pot is so loud when it's.
Yeah. Maybe they won't hear it though.
Oh, well, I said all that for nothing. Guys, you're allowed to shoot to the head. You're allowed to shoot to the chest. You're allowed to shoot anywhere you need to shoot. If you're justified in shooting somebody to protect your life or the life of somebody else who's in imminent danger of death or serious physical injury, the law doesn't specify where you shoot or how you shoot. This fella lives in I'm sorry, But he's attacked Buford so much, and he's perfectly welcome to attack Fred McCoy. I don't care. At least I'm alive. At least I can come back. But this man's in dreamland. This man's been watching Kojak or Starsky and Hutch or somebody. Go ahead, babe. I feel you. Sorry. You're right.
Unless you're a sniper and that's your job. The torso is a much larger area. Why not just shoot Buford in the torso and at least disable him?
Why not shoot where you can hit? Guys, he's saying to shoot Buford in the torso while he's driving down the road and they're riding beside of him, unless they've got armor-piercing bullets. I have yet to see, I could be wrong, maybe that's going to be in that voluminous report that's coming out. I have yet to see even one round that's penetrated the doors, the firewall, the doorpost. Mm-hmm. There's 2 bullets right there in the doorpost behind Buford's head. Mm-hmm. They're going for headshots. They're trying to kill. They shot Pauline in the head. Yeah. Now, before I go on, because I always forget this, look where Pauline's sitting. See, back in the old days, guys, we had bench seats in cars. We didn't have bucket seats. Everybody had a bench seat. And the reason you like them bench seats, because you could squeeze your honey up next to you and you could drive down the road, and that's what you had. And she was sitting right next to him. They're saying, oh, they were separated. Oh, they were. Really? Do you think that these guys were that bad of shots? That Pauline is on one side of that big Plymouth Ferry and he's on the other, and they're shooting at him, but they hit her plumb over on the other side? Do you guys believe that? That woman was beside of his side, just like in that video in the movie that Buford helped to narrate to show them. Of course, Hollywood added to it.
No. Give me a good kiss. Come on. Pauline, 501's emergency.
If you could, Grady here.
Better give me an ambulance about half a mile off Back Creek Road past the church. Hurry up, it's an emergency. I'm out of the field.
We're coming, Buford.
Pauline. Oh, swear to God, no. Pauline. Pauline. Don't let that. Pauline.
So held on to his neck, turned him over, held it, and was saying, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And he muttered a little bit, and what I want to think was Dwana. I hope.
Hey guys, the reason we added Dwana there and what she was talking about, daddy, 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 is on one of these podcasts. One of these fellas had said that Buford had said he yelled, "Pauline, Pauline," when he realized that she was dying or dead. And they said, who does that? That's nonsense. Well, this is what Dwana said when she found her dad when he wrecked in his car that night. So it's not that unusual. It's not unusual at all, in fact. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But there's a lot of things in that movie that I'm sure, including the ambush, that he's probably helped them with.
Well, the driver's back window was busted out, shot out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, her passenger side window was busted, shot out. So
they were all over that car. They're shooting from 3 feet away. They're pulled right up beside of his car and shooting out the windows. Now, Mr. Elam here says, why didn't they shoot to the body? Why would they shoot to the body when his head's right there? The reason they couldn't get his body or him is he was laying over on top of Pauline. That guy was trying to hide. Somebody shooting at you, I'd be crawling in the glove compartment or up underneath the seat. He was laid over in that seat exactly like that movie, and he was trying to hide himself. He was trying to take cover. This was one time Mr. Pusser was not big and bad and 6 foot tall and bulletproof. He was trying to save his own life, much less his wife's.
Right.
I think he probably knew that when he saw that brain matter come out, that she was gone.
Yeah.
He's trying to save his own life. He didn't even shoot back. There's no bullet holes in the door. If there had been bullet holes in the door, would those bullets have penetrated into him? They're trying for headshots, guys. This was an assassination. Go ahead, Punk.
That's not what happened. Buford claimed that he was shot in the chin, and then if you notice, the 2 bullet holes in the doorpost behind his head. That's kind of odd. And then what happens? Pauline gets shot.
What's kind of odd about it, Mr. Elam? What is kind of odd about somebody driving down the road 60, 70 miles an hour, a bumpy gravel road, and the drivers, especially in a big Cadillac, you get them things going, especially in gravel. And what's so odd about they missed their mark? That's about where Buford's head was. They were right on it, except that they were too far to the rear. Mm-hmm. You know, we've talked many a times about, and Mr. Elam says, oh no, he's only shot once, shot himself, and he's only shot once. Really? Look at them 2 bullet holes right there. How close, babe?
Yeah, they are. They're right here together. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
And you got one right up here.
Boom, boom.
Right there, side by side.
Side by side. One following the other. When you got a semi-automatic, fast as you can pull that trigger, that's how fast they'll come out of there. Boom, boom. Look at that. He says, I don't know how they could hit in the same hole. I don't know how they could do this. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know much about firearms if you don't know how an M1 30 caliber carbine shoots. And right there's a good example. Head high. That's where Buford's head would be. They just happened to miss him. Mm-hmm. Or he laid over about that time.
Shot in the head. Kind of unusual.
Kind of unusual.
But that takes us on.
How many shootouts has Mr. Elam been in? Kind of unusual. He asks all these questions a lot of times. Kind of unusual. Well, what did you do that time you were in the shootout, Mr. Elam, when they were shooting at you and you were driving down the road? Tell us how you handled that and what you did differently. Because, see, it's easy for us Monday morning quarterbackers to sit here and say, oh, I would have done this. I would have done that. I always thought of myself a pretty tough little fella. I'd probably crap my jeans. Somebody come up beside me and start shooting, kill my wife and start shooting at me.
There's no telling what a person would do in that situation. Everybody reacts differently. So, I mean,
I have a feeling Mr. Elam would too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that we got a lot of Hollywood right here.
Okay, let's see what the next one would be.
Guys, the best thing we can do is start calling. I'm sorry, but the best thing, if you want to do anything for Buford Pusser and you've got a YouTube channel, start doing your research and start standing up for people that can't stand up for themselves. If you believe Mr. Elam, then fine, believe him and put your story out there like his. The evidence is not on his side. The evidence is not there. Just because TBI said something, just because Mr. Mark Davison said something, doesn't make it true, guys. It just shows how human and how people can let earthly things or reputations or
power of suggestion
or fame and fortune or name notoriety take over your better thinking. We don't have to make somebody else look bad for us to look good. Now, there's people out there that thinks these guys walk on water, and you can see the post where they say TBI would never charge nobody. They would have never said this. Mark Davison would never said this if he didn't have the evidence. Guys, if Mark Davison would have had the evidence, if TBI would have had the evidence, you wouldn't have heard them on the stage saying Dr. So-and-so, what's the word? Opines?
Opines.
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 Dr. So-and-so opines that he shot himself in the head. Dr. So-and-so opines that he did. That's his opinion. Dr. So-and-so's opinion is that he shot himself in the head. That's an opinion. Just like any of us have got opinions. One person, one doctor, opinion. One ballistics, one blood splatter. One person to sit there and just say enough to write in a report. You know, you could take a defense attorney out here and let him get some experts, pathologists and MEs and ballistics people and blood splatter people, and he could wipe the floor with these guys because there's no evidence there. Heard a guy a while ago said, I can't wait till this report comes out so I can see which way I lean. Well, you can read the report if you want. You're going to be reading Mike Elam's book and Oakley Baldwin. You're going to be reading their book or their podcast. The evidence they had, guys, they gave to you on stage that day. Broke nose. Nothing to do with 1967 ambush. Nothing to do with her death. Had a broke nose sometime in her life. But we got to bring that out to act like Buford was an abuser. There's no evidence there, guys. And I'll show you at the end of this video, or Sheila will post it for me, where it says, just hang on right there just 1 second. Let me see if I ain't got it right here. That's when the TBI agents received a tip about a murder weapon. They received a tip from Mr. Elam here that has known about this stolen Air Force military M1 carbine for some time. The fella he got it from has known about it all of his life, from what we understand. Neither one of these fellas have been charged. We want to talk about Buford Pusser in a rumor way, speculate, but we've got two men here that's been in possession of a stolen military firearm, and neither one of them has been charged either by the TBI or the ATF. That weapon, now listen to this, Mr. Davison here. That weapon is believed to have been a .30 caliber carbine rifle, but Davison said physical evidence shows it was likely used by Buford to shoot Pauline outside the vehicle. Now that's what he says. Davison said physical evidence shows it was likely used by Buford to shoot Pauline. He's talking about this gun. He says this gun.
Physical evidence, yeah.
The gun was recovered and tested. Though they cannot say conclusively it was the murder weapon, Davison said, but it was consistent with the weapon that killed Pauline. Guys, Sheila, how many of them weapons they make?
I forget, 6.2 million.
6.2 million. Yeah. 6.2 million. Snap quiz.
Yep. Pop quiz.
Pop quiz, yeah.
I hated those in school.
Guys, can you believe they've destroyed a man's reputation over this? Now, he says up here that the physical evidence shows it was likely used by Buford to shoot Pauline. Okay. Yeah, we can't wait to see that physical evidence. Don't worry. We'll do a video on it. I have a feeling the physical evidence he's going to show is either going to be blood splatter or bullet holes in the car, and he's going to use somebody that says they're a ballistics expert that has got nothing to compare this gun or a bullet to. They said they recovered some fragmentations of bullets from her skull. Don't say nothing about it being a comparison to a .30 caliber. There's been a .30-06 brought into the picture, .30 caliber, a .44. They said Buford shot himself with his .357. Said Buford put his gun in his mouth and shot it just so it would go through his cheek. Just through his cheek, just a flesh wound. Put his gun in his mouth. Not that the gases from the barrel wouldn't blow his head up.
Yeah.
But it just went through his cheek. Sheila will show you a picture in a minute, and let's see what that looks like. Let's see what about the deputy Plunk that went out there and recovered his jawbone. See, up here's the cheek. Down here's your chin. Look and see where he was shot at. Who would shoot their chin off Who would shoot themselves in the cheek? But who would shoot their chin off? Really?
Yeah.
Guys, it's papers like this, and please, when you get it, just read it real good. This is right out of the newspaper, right off the press. This is his quote, word for word. The gun was recovered and tested, though they cannot say conclusively it was the murder weapon. Davison said it was consistent with the weapon that killed Pauline, a 30 caliber gun, millions and millions and millions, probably closer to billions of 30 caliber, 30-06s, 30-30s, 30 caliber M1s. I don't tell you nothing, guys.
Mm-mm.
That's a shame.
It really is.
If you all knew,
an injustice.
yeah, babe, it is. If y'all knew how skeptical that report is and how sad that is that somebody made that report and even tried to hornswoggle the media and the people that's out here, because I don't buy that. That is a magician's trick. That is a redirect. There's no physical evidence. There's nothing to get physical evidence from. There's no car to measure the bullet. There's go on, babe.
Well, I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. You know, like you and I were talking the other day, if they said it was self-inflicted, you know, with his gun. So like you said, what did he do? Clean it?
Babe, thanks for bringing that up.
Because you and I remember.
Was that me or you?
You, because we were talking about it, how we didn't think he did that. It was self-inflicted.
Can you imagine?
And that was a good point.
Now, Buford didn't only go out there and throw these casings down. He didn't only go to 2 or 3
stage it all,
places and miles apart from each other and stage all this. He shot himself with his own gun, then cleaned his gun, put it back in his holster, because he told them he didn't even pull his gun out. That's what you call shot, guys. That man didn't even go for his gun. He went for their gun because their gun jammed. He tried to grab it.
Right.
He says. That's what the report says. Is that what Buford says, or is that what a TBI agent? Is that what the state police said?
Yeah.
We're going to get to that. We better get moving.
Yep. I'm going to do this next one here.
Is that now done? Okay.
I haven't done this one yet, so I'm going to play you.
Okay.
Did you see the title there?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can follow him. Whatever he discusses, we can.
We're going to discuss
This man's a
what some might
legend.
be considered to be a coincidence, and others might consider it to be a conspiracy on Buford's part. And by that, I mean the various odd traits and natures that Buford had. One being that every time somebody around him got shot, with the exception of one, they got shot in the head. I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or if that was part of Buford's nature whenever he would shoot someone.
Stop it.
Wow.
You know where my question would be there, guys, as a 40-year career police officer? Not where he shot him at. Was he justified?
Mm-hmm.
Was Buford justified? Was he justified in shooting him in the belly? In the head? Was he not that he shot him in the head? This guy's questioning because Buford's a good shot and goes for the head. It doesn't matter where he shot him at. It's if he was he's not questioning whether Buford was justified.
Right.
He's not saying, I don't think Buford was justified in shooting him. Well, that's a different story from shooting in the head or the chest. If you're not justified in shooting somebody, you're not justified in shooting them in the chest, in center mass, where he says you should shoot the bigger part of the body. It's according to what kind of shot you are. It's according to how scared you are and how fast you want to end that threat. It's according to how close you are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Every situation.
Did you have something?
No, every situation is different. Yeah. So, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see.
At any rate, here we'll go into the story. The first incident was in February of 1966 when he was called to the Shamrock Motel to investigate a purse that had been stolen.
We stopped that one because we're familiar with the Shamrock.
Right.
We're familiar with Louise. We're familiar. Guys, Louise was a bad human being. from what I've read about her in the newspaper, from the court records, from her shooting her husband, shot her husband 3 different times. He kept coming, 2 times. He kept coming back, and then finally the 3rd time she killed him. All the affairs, all the things that went on.
Wow.
Louise was a bad woman. W.O. was a bad man. The Hathcocks, I'll tell you, the Hathcocks reminds me of the West Virginia Hatfields. The more I read about them or hear about them or watch videos, the Hathcocks are a lot like the West Virginia Hatfields. At least back in Louise's day and W.O.'s day, when you read about them and look at their history, there's newspaper articles out there. There's the evidence is there. Go ahead, Punk.
Here's the next one.
One of those being a car chase where Buford and a TBI agent are in the car. They're chasing Pinky Dobson down after he'd escaped. In that case, it was from a hospital. In reality, it was Paul David English escaping from the Nary County Jail.
Stop it a minute.
But they were down in...
Anytime anybody escapes from custody or especially confinement, a jail or a prison, automatically a felon. You got a felon, a fleeing felon right there. Fleeing felon is recognized to use deadly force on. I'm not a police officer or never been a police officer in Tennessee, but I have been in Florida and Kentucky. So I just wanted to clear that up, because this man, when he escaped from the confinement from a facility, at least in Kentucky, he would be a fleeing felon, and that would be a felon.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Mississippi, chasing after English and firing shots, and Buford shot through the trunk of Paul David English's car, and one of the shots that Buford took struck English near the spine, partially paralyzing him. Now, during that conversation, I made the point to English that he was lucky. He didn't get shot in the head. And the reason for that probably was that, in reality...
Guys, I want you to listen to probably. Probably comes up in so many times. If you're a big fan of Mr. Elam's, please start listening to probably, maybe, could have. He's about like Mr. Davison with likely, our opinion, we believe. Them's words, guys. Them's words when you're unsure of something. That's not evidence. Those are words. Go ahead. I want you to hear the rest of this.
It wasn't a TBI agent that was with Buford that day. That was just movie hype. It was the chief of police, Art Murphy, in Corinth, who was with Buford that day. Probably Buford looked and thought, I'd like to shoot him in the head, but I can't because I've got a witness here.
A legend in his own mind. This guy here is obsessed with Buford Pusser. It's not hard to see. Never heard of this guy before. Never knew of him until this thing come out on TBI and the press conference.
Yeah.
This guy has got a real issue with... Guys, let me explain. He says he's lucky he didn't shoot him in the head, because the only reason Buford didn't shoot him in the head is because that police chief was with him. If Buford Pusser was justified in shooting at him at all, if they're driving down the road and he's justified in shooting at him at all, his trunk, paralyzing him in the back, in the head, it doesn't matter. If he's justified in shooting, he's justified in shooting. If he's justified in shooting, he's justified in hitting anywhere that bullet happens to hit. You're trying to stop this fleeing felon from getting away. I've also heard where he was also had stolen a gun, or there was a gun in the car that he had stolen. So they don't even know that there's not even they don't need a gun. He doesn't have to have a gun. He's a fleeing felon.
Yep.
They've got to stop him. But he says that it's probably because the police chief was there. Buford didn't want to shoot him in the head. Go ahead, babe.
So in my opinion, English was certainly lucky to have escaped that incident without being shot in the head like everyone else.
Wow.
I think he's a jealous little fella. I think he's so jealous of Buford Pusser. Can't be him, so I might as well.
Oh, that's so sad.
Next.
Christmas Day, 1968. You'd think Buford would be at home, but he was at the sheriff's office that evening when
You're up, babe.
All right, guys. We hope you're doing well. I'll add some more things at the end of the video, by the way, too. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless. Bye.